Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Alright, let's talk about a fight that didn't look like it was going to happen, but surprisingly, it's been announced. Well, it's going to be announced in a couple of days. Looks like it's definitely going to go down now. A fight between Joyce and Joseph Parker. And this is going to be a interesting fight to bet on. The odds makers have it a very close, competitive fight on paper. It's going to be an interesting fight. Two clash of styles. Nice heavyweight fight. Joyce gets a crack at a top 10 heavyweight. Former world champion, still in his prime. Joseph Parker coming off a solid victory over Chisora. Parker looked pretty good in his last fight. A better performance compared to the first fight with Chisora. Interesting clash, man. Especially a great betting fight. It's kind of interesting how it got done despite Parker signing a deal with Boxer. Was supposed to be showcased on Sky Sports. Now, according to reports, it's going to be on BT Sport. So they were able to get that deal done. Joyce gets a good fight while he waits for whatever happens with the WO belt. Whether he's going to get a shot anytime soon, maybe sometime next year. A lot of moving parts when it comes to heavyweight division, especially now that Joshua Itzik 2 is on the horizon, and whatever happens in that fight is going to determine on whether Joyce is going to get an immediate title shot or not. So the fight with Parker is very important. It's a fight to showcase himself, to see if he's legitimate top 10 heavyweight. He's already had solid wins under his belt. He's got the big win over Daniel Dubois, a fight he was counted out in. Didn't think he would be able to take the firepower. Joyce, the big knock, the big flaw is his speed, which is why this fight is going to be competitive. Parker has a speed advantage in this fight. He's got faster hands. He's more sharper with his punches. He's battle tested. And the speed is definitely going to be a factor early, which could be a bothersome to Joyce because Joyce's defense is not great. He gets hit with big punches, but he's got a chin of iron, and it hasn't been showing that it's going to be, well, at least for this fight, he hasn't shown, the chin hasn't shown any wrinkles. There hasn't been any weaknesses. He's been taking the punches when he does get hit clean. He takes them, he eats them. Keep eating those big shots. That was a big concern with the Dubois fight. Everyone knew Dubois was going to hit him first, but no one really knew if Joyce was going to be able to take that power, but he did. He was able to take Dubois' firepower, and it's pretty much almost guaranteed that Joseph Parker is not going to be able to knock out the Joyce despite the speed advantage. Parker has been going the distance his last few fights. He's not I would say, a knockout artist. So the big question for this fight is, can Joyce stop Joseph Parker? Will his conditioning and gas tank be the difference in this fight, which is what I'm banking on? Parker has faster hands, better combinations, sharper puncher, but his gas tank is not on the level of Joyce. He gets winded in fights, he gets very tired. And this is one of those fights where Joyce can just take him to the deep waters and drown him, despite him having less fights, despite him not even going the distance as many times as Parker. But Joyce has the better firepower. He's got a good jab. He's slow, but he does have athleticism. He has a great gas tank. He has good power in both hands. He has a great jab. That's his biggest weapon. And he has a chin of iron. He's so aware in that ring. He just sees everything, sees all the punches. And Parker is not the type of puncher that, if Daniel Dubois can't put a dent in him, then Joseph Parker doesn't have the firepower to put a dent in him. He could make it tricky early though. His speed can be a factor. He could definitely surprise Joyce with his combinations. It's going to be an interesting fight, but this is one of the fights where I'm very confident and most likely going to place a large wager on Joyce. We'll keep it safe. I'm not sure if Joyce can stop Parker, but if he does, that would be a big statement. Parker's never been stopped. He's also shown a really good chin. He's shown that he's been durable, but his conditioning is definitely a weakness and a concern if he can make the distance. So I'm not gonna do anything bold here. I'm not gonna pick Joyce by knockout. I'm not gonna pick him by decision. I hope people put money on Parker so the line continues to go lower for Joyce. I think Joyce wins this fight. Most likely a long distance decision fight, but you can't rule out a late stoppage because Parker could get tired later in the fight, just like he did in the Dylan White fight and got knocked down. And it's one of those fights that's tricky to bet exactly the exact method of victory. So I definitely wouldn't be too risky here. Joyce could definitely stop him late, or it could be a decision fight. But early is going to be very competitive because Joyce is a lot slower. Parker will definitely be landing shots. He'll be landing combinations. And the question is, can he put a dent in Joyce? Can he, put a dent in that chin? I don't think so. So I'm definitely going big on Joyce. It's going to be a good fight. Joyce coming off a knockout win over a gatekeeper opponent in Christian Hammer. Parker coming off the decision over Chisora. So both coming in with momentum. Both need a good fight while they wait for whatever happens in the rematch between Usyk and Joshua. Of course, Tyson Fury may fight the winner. So these guys got to keep busy and keep winning and just make a name for themselves and continue to make that demand for whoever comes out of that trio of fights between Usyk, Joshua, and Fury to fight Joyce or Joseph Parker. Joyce, to me, is the best contender out there, among the better contenders out there, one of the more dangerous contenders out there. But the question is, can he compete with the elite guys? Because of the speed advantage. The speed gap is where Joyce is going to struggle with those top guys. But he's definitely a dangerous guy, man. The dangerous contender. The only guy I would confidently pick to beat him, like with great confidence, is Tyson Fury. Joshua could blast him out of there with his power, though. Usyk could school him, but for how many rounds? He did it for 5 rounds in the amateurs, whatever that tournament was called, the World Boxing Classic. Can you do it for a 12-round fight? That's a big challenge. So Joyce is definitely knocking on the door, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can compete with one of those elite guys. Because everyone else out there, he's definitely a problem for. But it's the top 3. The real big question on if he can beat any one of those guys. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about the fight. Who you got? Great betting fight, man. Joyce Parker. I got Joyce to win the fight. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.